Daf Chaf Daled Amud Aleph. We're 24 lines down. We're asking a question. The last thing we said that if you find it in a public area, you could keep it. When Rabbi Shimon Lazar said that you could keep it, but Rav Kananim is referring to when the majority of people there are Kananim. About Rav Yisrael, but when it's majority of Jews, law, you would say you can't keep it. Or Dimma, I feel Rav Yisrael Nami Amar, maybe even when there's majority of Jews, you could keep it. Whatever would he hold? And even if you will tell me, you could keep it when there's mostly Jews. Do Hachamim disagree with him there? Or lo pligi, they will agree that by Jews that you could keep it. If the Hachamim do disagree with him and say that you can't keep it, do they only disagree by Jews majority? But by majority of Kananim pligi or lo pligi, but would they also disagree or agree by Kananim whether or not you could keep it? If you do say they'll disagree, I feel that Rav Kananim, even in the majority of Goyim, who do we hold like? Rabbi Shimon Lazar? Or in al-Hakamoto, do we hold like Hachamim? If we do hold like Rabbi Shimon Lazar, Dafka Rav Kananim, or feel Rav Yisrael, do we hold like him when it's majority of Goyim or majority of Jews? Yani, what is going on and what do we do? Tashma is bringing a proof. Hamosim Ha'otzman find money, but taking certain shuls, but the midrash or anywhere people are commonly found that you could keep it. Because people are have Yeush. Listen now, the Azil Baterubahu says that we go according to Rav. We just said Bishman Hazar. Therefore we see, I feel bit of Sonami, it's the majority of Jews, because we just said synagogues and shuls. We're saying, no, it's referring to scattered coins. Since there's no Siman, you don't have to you keep it. Even if it's scattered, my area, why does that have to be a place where majority of people are? I feel even if it's not a common place, if it's scattered, there's no siman. So they say, okay, you know what? It's piled and it has a siman. What's the hidush over here? It's in a non-Jewish synagogue. Where it says 1 second. And therefore there's no proof that you could keep it by of Jews. But now, what's the that I hear if you could say that Batei Knesiot, non-Jewish synagogues, fine. But what would you do with the word Batei Midrash? They don't have Bet Midrash. So I say no, Batei Midrash Didan, it's referring to our Bet Midrash, because Goyim are guards. Also referring to Jewish shuls also, and the Goyim are guards because they used to have the yeshivot and the shuls outskirts of the town, and you would need guards. Tashma. Matzah ba'avidah, we found a lost item. Imrov Yisrael, majority of Jews have not announced it. Imrov Kananim, the majority of Goyim, I know how you keep it. Man Shemat Ledamar Ezin Batarova, who said that we go after Rov, after majority? Reshba, Rabbi Shimon Lazar. We prove from here, Kikamar Rabbi Shimon Lazar, Rav Kananim, Rav He would agree by Kananim, you could keep it, but not by Jews. Mar said, Hamani, who's that Mishnah? Rabbanani, it's Chachamim, disagree with him. So Mar says, so okay, fine. If you tell us Chachamim who say you could keep by Goyim, at least say the Chachamim would agree to Rabbi Shimon Lazar that you can keep it by Goyim. Where I says, no, really that Mishnah could be Rabbi Shimon Lazar. I feel Rabbi Salami here agree even by Jews. And Hakim over there, you can't keep it. It's Betamun, it's hidden. Since it's hidden, he assumingly put it there on purpose, and therefore it's not lost. So if it's hidden, why are you touching it? Mishnah, we find an item in a garbage heap. If it's covered, yani it was put there on purpose and it was hidden. Lo yagaba, don't touch it. It's not lost. If you take it, then it's going to be lost because the guy's going to come back for it. But if it's uncovered, no tell machriz, take it and announce it. I said no, no, over there we can explain it like according to Papa. We'll bring that on later. But we're referring to a garbage heap that's not usually get cleared out. It's a garbage heap that people don't usually clear out, but right, because back then they didn't used to change their cleaning the garbage heap very often. It was very hard for them to do it every once in a while. So usually the guy would change it every 2 months. He's doing it now, but he decided to change his mind to clear it out right away. And therefore, because of that, he has to move it before it gets taken, before it gets lost. Even you can use a different answer. Really, it's Hachamim. Amud bet. When do we say that he could keep it? It doesn't say that you can keep it. You don't have to announce it. Put it aside. Let a Jew come. Let a guy give us money and keep it. But it doesn't mean you don't keep it. You just don't have to announce it. Let the Jew come to you. You don't have to go after him. Tashma. He said, Asi. Masah Havik Yani, you find a keg of wine by Irshad Ubak in the majority Goyim city. Mutayret Mishum Mesiah, you can keep it because it's a lost object. But you can't have an ab because they might belong to a Goy and Yain Nesech. By Yisrael and Tam and Siman, if a Jew identified it, Mutayret Meshia, Lemosad, you can drink it and you can keep it because the guy doesn't get it back because he was miyash. But at least he tells you it's kosher by saying it's his, therefore you could drink it. Come on, who's it going to? So now we see from there, you can only keep it when the majority goyim, but not Jews. I said, no, maybe Rishon Lazar hold that even with Jews you could keep it. But Rav Asi, how come Rav Asi made a distinction between Jews and Goyim over there? He holds like Rishon Lazar by the case of Rav Goyim, but maybe you would argue with him, but please disagree with him by the Jewish majority. Now the Gemara says it's just a technicality. You just told me that the wine's asur. If you found it and belonged to a goy. What's the point of keeping it? I said, no, you can keep it for you can keep it for the container, but the wine's asur. Who was a man? He found 4 coins. Decided was tied up on the cloth. Was thrown into the river, Biran River. They came to the Yehuda. They told him, Zil Achri is going outside. The Gemara says, 1 second, why can I keep it? It's like a river that overflowed, and we said you could keep it. Why do you have to announce it? It's like it's a river that overflowed, and you should be able to keep it. We said, no, Shani Nahar Biran Kivan Demitzkib. Since it's dammed up and there's obstacles in there, which can catch it, Lo Me'esh, the guy did not have Yush. When he says Vaharu Baknanim, no. I mean, that feel of Kananim, but it's mostly Goyim. If it's mostly Goyim, then you should be automatically Yush. Therefore, we could prove from here that Shimon Lazar holds that if it's Rav Goyim, you cannot keep it. Where it says no, Shani Nahar Biran is different. The Biran River is different. The Israel Sachruled because it's the Jews who damned it. The Israel Karule and the Jews who empty it to get the stuff there, like the fish. Kevin Israel Sachruled since the Jews who damned it. Emor Misa Nafam, maybe it fell from a Jew. The Kevin Israel Karule since the Jews who are draining it. Blomeesh, the guy did not give up. He's like, oh, the Jew will find it. I'll give it to Siman and I'll keep it. Okay. Rabbi was following Shmuel. Beshuka the Beidaisa in the cereal store. Amarle asked him, Matzak kan arniki, what if I found a purse here? Mahu was talacha. Amarle told him, Hare Shlo, you can keep it. But when the guy, a Jewish guy came and told me a siman, he says, Amarle, Hayav lachsi, to return it. So he says, Tarati, pick a side. How do you have both sides? I could keep it, but the guy gives me siman, I return it? How does that work? He says, Amarle, tell them, no, beyond the letter of the law, you should return it. Ki had the avu the Shmuel, because the Shmuel's father one time happened, Ashkechanit Hamad bin Bara, they found donkeys in desert. He returned them to the owners. After a full year had passed, because he went beyond the law, he wanted to give it back to the guy. Rabbi was following Nachman, the guy in the market of the leather. And he asked him, Beshuka de Rabbanan, some people, sorry, and some people say it was the market of the Chachamim. Amarli asked him, Nachman, Matzah kan arniki, I found a purse here. Mahu was alacha. Amarli told him, Hare el shlo, you can keep it. Based on Siman Mahu was alacha, if someone gave a Siman, Amarli Hare shlo, it still belongs to the guy. But if let's say the guy is still standing there screaming, I lost my thing, he's looking. So where does that show that maybe he doesn't have Yush? So maybe if the guy gives a Siman, he should be able to get it back, because I see he's not miyayesh by the case of the coins. He says, no, he's screaming and crying, not because he has hope that he's getting it back. He's screaming on something that happened to him, but he already gave up. He's screaming about the fact that they gave 2 examples, as if someone who's shouting that his house fell or his boat that sank, right? Both cases are like things that are beyond his control that he already gave up on. So it's over here. He's crying about what happened, but not because he thinks he could control it. He already had Yeush. That's why he could keep it. The vulture, the Shakil Bistra Beshuka took meat in the market. He threw it between the palm trees of Bar Marion. Keep it. I'll prove from here that even though majority of Jews, you can keep it. And Rabbi Shmuel I would agree that you could keep it in the majority of Jews. Proof. When I said, nah, Shani Dio, the vulture is different. When the vulture took it, it's like the same thing as a river. The guy sees his meat getting picked up by a bird, and he says, I'm not getting that back. He had Yush. Another question, how can you eat it if we know, it's famous halakha, that you can't eat meat that you couldn't track? If you don't see it all the time, you can't assume that it got swapped out for non-kosher meat. No, the Gemara says, no, but the Bar Mion had watched the meat. He had observed the whole situation. He saw the bird take it and drop it, and he was able to keep it and eat it. Rabbi Hina found a slaughtered goat. Between the cities of Tiberia and Tzipori. Hachamim allowed him to eat it. Rabbi Amir said, let him keep it. Rishon Lazar said that you can keep it. Meshum shechita, but they also let him eat it regarding shechita. Yani we assume that it was a good shechita. Ki Rabbi Hanina beno Rabbi says, leader this rabbi. The Tanya brother says, Harisha Abdullah Gidiya, if someone lost his goat or his chickens, Valachim San Shechutin, he found them slaughtered. Rabbi also says you can't eat it because maybe it wasn't slaughtered good. Rabbi Hanina beno Rabbi said, leave and tir, but Rabbi Hanina says you can't eat it. Rabbi says, near in Divrei say Yudah, I can agree with Yudah, Kishimas Ambe Ashpa. I would assume they're bad if you found them in a garbage heap, because maybe most people throw out their non-kosher or non-slaughtered correctly animals into the garbage. So you found it there, Tasur. And Rabbi Hanania will agree, he'll agree to Rabbi Hanania that you could keep it if you found it in a house. That's not thrown out. So therefore you can assume that it was a good slaughter. Anyhow, not that you said it's mutar because of shechita, therefore it has the majority of Jews. Otherwise, you would say that it wasn't slaughtered correctly. I mean, now we can prove from here, halacha could be Shmuel Lazar, I feel prove from here, Shmuel Lazar holds that you can keep something if it's majority of Jews. I said, no, Rav Kananim, really was a place of majority of Goyim. The Rov Tabahai Yisrael, but the majority of slaughterers were Jews, therefore you can eat it. Different story. Rabbi Amim Ashkach Pargiot Shehudot ben Tivrei and Tzipori. Rabbi Amim found slaughtered pigeons between Tivrei and Tzipori. If you want to find the animals, go there, it looks like. I went to Rabbi maybe it was Yochanan. They told him, enjoy. Another story, Nafcha, Ashkach Kibura, he found the string, the they made nets for. They told him, go enjoy. New Mishnah, the following items you have to announce if you find it. Matzah perot bikli, if you found fruit inside a kli, right? That's a siman. O kli kamuchu, or just a kli. Ma'ot bakis, money in a purse. O kis kamuchu, just a purse. All these things have simanim. Tiburek perot, piles of fruit. Tiburek ma'ot, piles of coins. Shlosh matwot zel gazu, 3 coins stacked upon each other. Kirichot b'shutei yachid, small bundles in a private property. Bikarot shabala bait, or homemade loaves. The or fleece found from the workshop, which obviously was made personally for the guy's liking, and therefore it has a siman. Kadayain, jugs of wine, kadeshemen, jugs of oil, all the detail announced because he has simanim. So now, ta'ama seems like if you found the fruits in a vessel or the coins in a purse, haklib ulfanav perot. But that means if you found it in front of it, kis ulfanav or you found purse with coins in front of it, you can keep the produce and the money because it wasn't inside. But Tanin al-Hadad, we have another Mishnah that says, Matzakli, found a vessel, Ufana perot, with fruit in front of it, kis or purse, Ufana mot, or with money in front of it. Hade elshlo, you can keep it. Mixtan bikliv, some of it was inside. Mixtan galaber karka, some of it was outside. Yani it was middle spilling out. Mixtan bakis, some of it inside the purse, Mixtan galaber karka, some of the coins are outside. You can keep it. If they announce it, like Mar says, very many vestira. Matzah davar she'en lo siman. If you find something that does not have a siman, bitzad davar she'esh siman next to something that does have a siman, it announce it. Ba'al siman. If the guy who came with the siman ben atal shelo, it takes what it's his, and then he says other things that not belong to him. Zachah halav davar she'en lo siman. He gets to keep the thing that does not belong to him. Right. So basically, we see from the first bright at least that you have to announce the item without a siman when it's next to something that does have a siman, which is against our braita. That sounds like you don't have to if it's next to it. The braita says, "Amar Zvid lakasha habekuba v'kitna." In the first braita, which says you could keep it, referring to a barrel with flax, and therefore if it's completely empty, it doesn't make sense that every single piece of flax came out of the barrel. Therefore, we say look at them as separate items. Habetzana pere. But in the second case, we have to return it is with basket and fruits, and therefore it probably fell out. The Prophet says, both of them are baskets and fruits. In the second part, which is you have to return it, is where some is still inside and some outside. You see oranges outside, some orange inside, do the math. In the second case, where you can keep it, is where there's nothing inside. You put a different answer. Nothing inside. One case where it's returned is where the opening is facing the fruit. You see the fruit next to an open barrel, the barrel is facing it. In the first case where you can keep it is where they're not facing each other. It's like two separate incidents. Another answer. Both cases where it's facing the right way. The first case where you can keep it is where the basket has a rim and there's nothing inside, and therefore you can assume that It's separate incidents because nothing stayed inside with the rim. The second case, you can't keep it, is where there does not have a rim, and you can assume that it's filled out completely. We'll stop here.